the atmosphere in the virtual world suddenly turned hot, full of whispers of speculation and unstoppable curiosity. The names of Jungkook and Park Jimin became the center of attention again, not because of a big comeback or a new music project, but because of a brief moment, almost undetectable, that actually triggered a wave of incredible reactions from fans around the world. The question now hangs in the air. What exactly happened between them? It all started from a piece of video that circulated quickly on various social media platforms. In the video, Jungkook is seen making a small gesture to Jimin. There are no clear words, no official explanation, just a seemingly simple action. But that's where his power lies. In a world full of highlights like they live, small things can turn into big things in seconds. Some fans call it a meaningful moment, a form of secret attention that has rarely been seen in front of the public. Jungkook seemed to look at Jimin with a different expression, not just an ordinary gaze between his groupmates, but something deeper, an emotion that is difficult to explain in words. Jimin, on the other hand, is seen responding in a way that is no less surprising. His faint smile, his body gestures, everything seems to keep an unspoken story. Speculations began to emerge. Some say that this is a sign of their growing closeness, a proof that their relationship has gone through many phases and is now at a more mature point. However, not a few also feel that there is something different, something that feels more serious than usual. "That gaze is unusual," wrote a fan on social media, like there is something that wants to be conveyed, but cannot be said. This phenomenon is not the first time it has happened. Jungkook and Jimin are known to have a very close relationship since their debut with BTS. From the time of trainees to becoming global stars, both of them have gone through various difficult and happy moments together. They are not only co-workers, but also friends who understand each other outside the spotlight of the camera. But precisely because of that, every small change in their interaction becomes so significant in the eyes of the public. What makes this situation even more interesting is how fans try to read every little detail of the moment. Some slow down the video, enlarge facial expressions, even analyze their body language second by second. This is not just an ordinary curiosity, but a form of emotional attachment that has been formed over the years between idols and fans. But in the midst of all the speculation, there were also voices trying to calm the situation. Some fans remind that not everything needs to be interpreted excessively. They emphasize that Jungkook and Jimin are ordinary humans who have a unique way of expressing their feelings, and not every moment has to have a great hidden meaning. Even so, it is difficult to ignore the fact that this moment has touched something deeper in the hearts of many people. Maybe because of the authenticity that radiates, or maybe because of the silence that actually speaks more than words. In the world of entertainment that is often filled with made-up things, moments like this feel so real, so honest, and that's what makes it so strong. On the other hand, there has been no official statement from their agency regarding this incident. HYBE Corporation chose to remain silent, as usual when facing growing speculation among fans. This attitude actually adds to the mystery, making many people wonder if there is something that is deliberately kept from the public. As time goes by, the moment continues to be talked about, analyzed, and even used as a discussion material in various fan forums. Some consider it as one of the most touching moments between Jungkook and Jimin, while others see it as proof that their relationship is always full of surprises. But maybe, behind all those theories and assumptions, the answer is much simpler. Maybe it's just a spontaneous moment, a small gesture from one friend to another friend. Or maybe it is precisely because of its simplicity that this moment feels so big. What is clear, one thing cannot be denied. Jungkook and Jimin once again managed to make the world stop for a moment, just to try to understand what they really feel. And in the midst of all that noise, maybe the most important thing is not what happened, but how that moment was able to touch so many hearts. Because sometimes in silence, there is a story that is louder than any sound. But it was precisely when many people tried to find a definite answer that the atmosphere became more and more silent. A strange silence, as if everyone was aware that maybe they were touching something too deep to just explain. The moment between Jungkook and Park Jimin is no longer just a topic of conversation, but turns into a kind of shared feeling, felt by millions of fans in various parts of the world. A few days after the video went viral, Other pieces appeared from different angles. In one of the clips, Jungkook is seen who had lowered his head after the interaction, as if hiding something. For some people, this is just an ordinary gesture. But for those who have followed the long journey of the two, small details like this actually feel very big. There was an unusual pause. There was a silence that felt longer than usual. On the other hand, Jimin seems to be trying to melt the atmosphere. He smiled, interacting with the other members, but there was a brief moment where his expression changed. Just a split second, which then immediately became the subject of non-stop analysis. Many feel that a smile is not just an ordinary smile, but a smile that holds something that does not want to be fully shown. This phenomenon then developed more widely. It's not just about what Jungkook is doing, but also about how their relationship has changed over time. In the past, their interaction was known to be light, full of jokes, even often looked like two inseparable friends. But now there is a different depth. There is maturity that cannot be faked. Some fans are starting to recall old moments, when they encourage each other in difficult times, when they share the stage with full of energy, to behind-the-scenes moments that are rarely seen by the public. All of that is like a puzzle piece that suddenly feels like it has a new meaning after this incident. As if what is happening now is the continuation of a long story that has been going on for a long time. But not all reactions have emotional nuances. There are also those who begin to question the pressure they face as public figures. Living under constant spotlight makes their every move have an amplified meaning. A look can be a headline. Pause can be a theory. In such a situation, the line between reality and public perception is getting thinner. This also gives rise to a deeper discussion about how fans interpret their idol's relationship. Does everything have to be interpreted? Does every moment have to have a hidden meaning? Or rather, by trying to understand too far, the public unknowingly takes the personal space that should still belong to them. However, it cannot be denied that Jungkook and Jimin have different bonds. It's not just a narrative made up by fans, but something that has been seen for a long time. The way they pay attention to each other, the way they are with each other in important moments, all of those are real things. And perhaps, precisely because of that authenticity, every smallest change feels so striking. Meanwhile, BTS as a group is also known for its strong relationship dynamics between its members. They are not only co-workers, but also families formed by the same time, pressure, and dreams. In this context, what happens between Jungkook and Jimin may be just a small part of a larger dynamic, something that can only be truly understood by themselves. But for the fans, this moment has become something more than just an ordinary interaction. It becomes a reflection of closeness, from change, and maybe also from things that are never said. In a world full of words, it is silence like this that is the hardest to ignore. And maybe that's what makes everything feel so shaky, because in the end, it's not about what it looks like, but about what it feels. A short glance, a small gesture, can carry a much greater meaning than can be explained. And in the midst of all the speculation, perhaps the real answer was never really meant to be known. Maybe it's just the two of them,